I have officially changed my mind for Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Now, I know I was one of the people who didn't have a problem with this bout going on. I know a lot of people did right off the get-go, and I kind of disagreed based on the fact that Mike Tyson still could punch. And one of the things about Jake Paul is I know he's not fighting in their prime fighters, and he's fighting guys who are over the hill or past their prime and fighting retired mixed martial artists, primarily grapplers in the boxing setting. I still gave him props just because how many people can honestly say they'd knock out Ben Askren? How many people can honestly say they'd knock out Tyron Woodley, regardless of whether or not he's out of the UFC? Do you know how tough an NCAA All-American wrestler is and how hard it would be to beat them up, even past their prime fighting days? Because they're getting in there with other trained killers. So I wasn't so quick to jump on the Jake Paul hate train. In fact, I gave the kid props because you could tell he's obviously not built to be a professional fighter, although he's still tough and he's still doing very well against these boys. So I figured, to step in the ring with Mike Tyson regardless of his age, because he wasn't showing a whole lot of signs of any sort of real health decline just yet. And then when I saw Mike Tyson training, I felt like he was really ready to just bring it. Like he was back in the gym, getting everything up to full speed. Like we might actually see a couple shadows of vintage Mike, because obviously you're not going to turn back the clock. Young Mike Tyson's not coming back. Now, obviously, a young Mike Tyson versus a young Jake Paul, young Mike Tyson wins that every time. But still seeing that this guy could still throw the pads and throw all this stuff, this guy absolutely had it going. And, I was all for it. But now that he had an ulcer and it acted up and he had a health emergency, they postponed the fight. Now, someone's probably going to step in, and they're saying they want to do this later. I'm going to be honest. Now I'm going to completely flip to the other side and take another hard stance. I don't want this fight to happen anymore. Just because you had health problems on top of it. It's an ulcer, right? But at Mike's age, that's kind of a changer where you think, this is kind of where Jake Paul is getting set up for a victory, and it's going to ring even more hollow. You think that Jake Paul had nothing to gain from this fight. Now that Mike Tyson is having these health concerns all of a sudden out of the blue, it's a pure sign from the universe that this fight just shouldn't happen, okay? I was for it. Now I'm like, okay, you know what, universe? You've spoken. I don't think it should be postponed. I really think it should be canceled. I think, honestly, Jake Paul should fight some more amateur boxers or something like that. Someone a little more in his ballpark. Maybe even make a professional boxing debut where he fights an actual up-and-coming boxer. Bring some, glory back to that sport. Put some pay-per-views eyes on it. I don't watch boxing. I don't know how everyone else feels about boxing. I know a lot of people were tuning into the Ryan Garcia fight. But, I think that, we also kind of think that Jake Paul dodged a bullet in this sense, just because I really hope that the public perception of Jake Paul changes and people stop just hating on him flat out. A lot of people don't really want to give him credit for what he's done and that he's actually fighting for UFC fighters to get more pay. And a lot of people overlook that and just want to point the finger and call Jake Paul the bad man when he's actually done a lot more for the sport. Seeing this now, he gets in the ring now with Mike Tyson. He's never going to be looked at in a public persona. He's just never going to be looked at in a public persona in a good way. He's just going to be looked at the guy that possibly ended an older version of the best boxer of all time for his own gain. And whether it's to get UFC fighters more pay or not, it's a castle that would have been built on sand. So, I've just said my piece. I don't know if I'm for this. Actually, I know I'm not for this fight anymore. It shouldn't just be postponed. Mike Tyson should enjoy his remaining years, continue podcasting, continue being a wise old man who has seen a lot in this world and has a voice to give to the younger people, right? I just don't want to see him throw what he's got left away because he's got a lot more to live for. That's more than just fighting. He's earned his bag. He's earned his fame. And I think he should just stop. But I don't have a single say in this, and they're going to do what they're going to do. Later.